Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of FoolCraft. Did you see the difference? This F5 thing, man, I swear it's slightly easier to look at everything when you're in F5. It's not quite night vision, but it definitely seems a little bit clearer. Just pay attention to the nether brick. Hello. Welcome back to another episode. Yeah. We're going to fly around like this. Why are we in a nether fortress? What's going on here? Hey, I've got to tell you something. I've got the ultimate plan to produce power, okay? We're going to make an insane amount of power early on. We're going to build an OP farm, and that's going to allow us to do all the projects we want to do in our base. But before we can start work on this farm, we need to come here to the nether, and we need to get some wither skulls, okay? So I've been searching for the ultimate location, and I believe I found it. Jeez, I've been withered straight away. Now, did we get a skull from that? I can see that there is a skull on the ground, but I believe that is the wither skull. Let's chew down on some toast here. Yes, we got a skull straight away. That's amazing. So we need 5 of these in total. This might not take me very long at all because I have put together this alumite cleaver. It's made entirely out of alumite, and it's also got beheading on 5 times because it came with 5 modifiers. So it has beheading 7. That means a 70% chance. Oh, that thing looks seriously cool in my hand right now. 70% chance to get ourselves a wither skull when killing a wither. So the ultimate location to hunt these withers for is in an area where they can spawn easily, and that is a lava lake, because when you got these big open lava lakes, there's nowhere for them to spawn down there, with exception to caves, and then the ceiling of the nether doesn't have a lot of spawning spaces either, right? So a big open area, really good for spawn rates, and it just so happens there are 2 nether fortresses. There's another one that just starts over there as well, and while I've been in this area, I've been snagging me some blaze spawners as well, which is always good. Jeez, fighting in F5 mode is a little bit tricky. Jeez. Okay, there we go. I've got to watch out for my health, though. I can't eat. Those hearts are confusing because we got 2 rows of hearts. It kind of looks like these darker ones are like no hearts. So it scares me a little. Anyway, we didn't get one that time, and this is going to take me a while. But I'm going to have a blast here. Once we've got our wither skulls, I think I'm going to go raid some chests as well. I haven't got any good loot from these fortresses before. But did we get one that time? Yes, we did. Excellent. But it's worth investigating. And I've got to say, doing this in F5 mode, for you guys when I'm recording, I think it's good. But now that I'm going to hunt these down by myself, I'm going to do it like this, because it's much easier to judge how close you are to these guys, and then you won't get withered. Or at least I hope I won't. Thanks to the magic of the warp stone, we're back in the base, safe and sound. And I've been preparing because we are going to make an amazing early game source of power. This is going to be epic, so check it out. Here's what we're going to make. A Neverstar Generator. Okay, I know you're thinking I'm probably a little bit crazy, assuming you ain't got no Neverstar farm. But hang on a second, we might actually have one, believe it or not. So, Neverstar Generator, we got that. We've also got a capacitor bank to store energy that comes out of it. We are going to need some Neverstars though, so let's type in Nether, and you'll see that we actually have 6 Neverstars here. Now, where have they come from? They came from the same place that we got them before, right? The legendary loot bags, and we have 282 of those. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? I'm thinking you are. Let's go and put down an exporter over here into our bag openers. We're going to put this one to the legendary. So these ones automatically open legendary, but they do drop from the mobs themselves. And if we open this thing up here, we are getting some cool items. Will we see a Neverstar though? So far I haven't seen one, but they do come out of these bags. And it's going to be really awesome to farm these. Anyway, we'll get them eventually. That we will. Starting to go a little bit faster now. Come on, Neverstars! Well, anyway, we know we can get them. We'll get some more. This is going to be so cool. Alright, so then what we need to do is put down a Neverstar generator somewhere. And I think we'll just have it here. We'll put a capacitor bank behind it to store up all the energy. And that is actually directly next to this thing. So when it's running, it can draw power from it. And the reason that we need this right now is because this thing will get us ores, iron, gold, lapis, redstone, all that sort of stuff. And then we don't have to worry about mining it, meaning we can build machines, build our base a lot quicker. That's kind of the plan. So we're going to chuck a Neverstar into here. And this thing is going to generate an insane amount of power right now. It can store 400,000 there. It is storing, look at this, 4,000 RF per tick. That is now what we are generating with this thing. there is a side effect that I was unaware of. It gives us wither too, permanently. Although I'm sort of not taking any damage. Like, what's going on with that? I mean, I don't mind the side effect if the radius is small. We'll move this somewhere else at some point. So anyway, if we click on here, you can see that a Neverstar generates 9.6 million RF at a rate of 4,000 per tick. So it will fill this thing up to the brim. And when it does that, I do believe that this thing will not then waste any of the energy. It will just sort of slow down here and speed back up when the power is required of it. And there it goes. That has filled up. This has stopped. And now I'm actually receiving the wither effect. Is that literally because it stopped working right there? I'm also, again, not actually taking damage. This is very strange. I wasn't aware of this part of this this block and this machine. So anyway, if we turn that thing on, it'll take some juice out of the back there very fast, I believe, and this thing will start running again. Or maybe not. Maybe it's not actually taking it from the back. Right, I've moved this over here, and we finished using that one Neverstar. I can't kind of figure out when this thing is going to wither me or not, what the range of it is, and when it will actually hurt me. We'll probably end up just, you know, putting that over there in the distance somewhere and running a cable to it. But let's check how many Neverstars we've got so far. It's been about 15 minutes, and we've only got 2, which is slightly alarming, but then I realised that this thing is completely backed up. If we have a look in here, you can see that it's pretty much full, and I've been observing this thing. Let's say one slot opens up and it opens a loot bag. It will actually wait to put all the items in there before it opens another one, so there's no loss of item. But the reason that it's backed up is because of this thing right here. So all the items are getting pumped into there, and it's just very slow at importing them back into RS. Although right now it's, there you go, bam, filled all the way back up. So if we go into here and type in bag, you will see that we have opened about probably 180, I think, or something like that, of these legendary bags. We've also got the artifact bags here as well. Do these ones have Neverstars in? That one certainly didn't. Ah, there it is. No Neverstar from the artifact bags. So that's kind of disappointing. We've actually opened a lot of those, and we've only gotten 3 Neverstars now. That might not be enough to rely on this for consistent use, but at least when we're over there and farming mobs and getting those bags frequently coming in, I think it'll be good enough to leave this quarry running. The Neverstar experiment has been conducted, and unfortunately it is not going to be self-sufficient with this thing running. However, it's done a terrific job of powering it and providing us with an insane amount of ores. The next project we're about to do is to process all of these ores, and I do believe it hasn't gone down to diamond level yet, so there's still more valuable types of ores to be gotten from our little system over here. Now, when it came to the Neverstar, I AFK'd for about an hour and a half, and I came over here. This thing was empty like it is now, but we had generated 5 Neverstars over here. And then I went AFK for about 2 hours, came back, and we had 4 Neverstars, because I threw those 5 into here. So it provides a tremendous amount of power, keeps this thing running for a long time, but it's not self-sufficient. If we weren't running this thing, though, I think it would be. I think I could stay over there forever and probably power that farm as well, and we'd have infinite Neverstars. But anyway, it's done a great job of getting us started on what our next project will be. I'm going to go and grab another one of these travel anchors. We're going to pick somewhere around this area and go underground and build ourselves a ore processing room. This room is really going to be about aesthetics. We need to house a couple of machines here, but we're going to take the opportunity to make something that looks really cool and interesting. And this is where I'm going to introduce you to a mod known as ArchitectureCraft, okay? This is the saw bench from ArchitectureCraft. I'm holding the hammer. We also have a chisel. These things right here are used to rotate and edit the blocks that can be created with this saw bench right here. So you can take pretty much any block in the game, vanilla or modded, throw it into here, and then change the block shape. Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. We're going to start off with this one up here which says roofing, and we're going to throw in some stone bricks. Let's actually use the vanilla ones right there. And you can create these different slopes and shapes, right? And there's a lot of them. And these allow you to make some very interesting and detailed builds, which is kind of what I want to go for this season. I want to do stuff with a little bit more detail, get my building on. It's always something I'm trying to improve at. And you can see there's just loads of different things here. So let's take some slopes like that and like this. I'm going to chuck those in our hotbar. Let's take one of those as well. That is the roof overhang. And actually, to work with the roof, we also want to grab something from this other section, which is called cladding. I got quite infuriated when I tried to use this. This is a block type you use on another block, not one you use on its own. You can make stairs as well. You can make corner types of stairs and all sorts of things going on here. Now you'll notice there's different categories. So we've got rounded, right? You can make a sphere. The object that should never be made in Minecraft, we're going to make it, the sphere. There are classical things, so you can do like Roman architecture, which is really cool. This is probably not the right sort of material. You probably want marble for this, or quartz perhaps, and you can make some very interesting shapes. Then we've got window here as well, so you can make window frames for your houses. That's going to be really cool. And then we've got arches. Arches is something I'd like to use a fair bit actually, and we'll probably end up using some of these in our builds. And last of all, there's railings. So these may look a little bit confusing and odd, but once you start using them, they tend to make a lot of sense. So let's throw down the slopes and let's grab our hammer and rotate this block like magic. Very easy, very simple to do. If you shift click it, you can flip it upside down as well, which is kind of cool. And you can put it on its side. I forgot about that. There's a lot you could do with this. There is a lot, and then you can put this thing next to it, and you get the idea. Let's check out the sphere. Wow, that looks really odd. I don't think I'll be using that very often, if at all. And then we've got this one right here, which we want to use with the cladding. So we put a couple of pieces of that down, and then we right click on it with the cladding. You'll see that we change the top material. So you can get very detailed and very specific with this. And you've probably noticed I've spent the entire time facing in that direction. That's because there's something behind me. It's not really a grand reveal, okay? I just did a little something. I got a vision for this room that we're in right here, and that is to have like an ore processing area that's visible up the top, a little bit more mechanical machinery, and then down the bottom an entrance to get into the back area where you can go up and see all the wires and stuff. And we'll come to the machinery stuff later. I want to focus on the aesthetics. So what we're going to go for is, this is our wooden material. Its complementary material is going to be the achacha, and then we're going to use stone bricks. But I'm not sure if I really like that block palette just yet. But an idea occurred to me when I was looking through here that we could go to, which one was it again? Was it rounded or arches? We could add a little bit of depth to this build. So if we go and grab this type of block right here, I actually think I want to do these wider. So let's just take a couple of those. We want to add a little bit of depth to these walls back here as well, don't we? Of course we do, that's what we're here to do. So we can remove those 4 blocks, put an arch on that side, ooh, put an arch on that side, and then we can put something different behind. That just made it 10 times better in my eyes. I don't know if you agree. I think the curves are really cool, but you got to keep them consistent is probably where we're going to have to go with that. I like that a lot. Okay, so I'm going to consider revising the materials we're using here. I think the stone bricks are going to stay, but I'm going to throw in more of these curves and just see where we can go with this whole thing. So, minor changes here, but we're really forming the theme, I feel, now. These stone bricks look great with these arches. And I got this real instinct to throw water in here, but I'm not sure where it would go exactly. We need to figure out the floor at this point. All of this down here needs to go, and I feel like there might be an opportunity here to bring in another colour, and I am considering grass. However, it's going to look awful in this biome, but I'm sure there's something in this mod pack. And I just realised my sound is off. I've been AFKing again. Every time I'm not playing but I leave the computer on, for whatever reason, I make sure to come over here and an AFK in the mob farm. So that's why the sound is off. But yeah, we're going to throw in some sort of colour down here, and maybe there's something from the mods that can keep the grass colour nice and bright. Then when it comes to the walls, we need to work on these ones over here. I haven't even thought about the ceiling yet. I don't know how that's going to work. And then the walls, I think, will just sort of arc round and curve around this little bit here. So there's not much to see in this area. You basically warp down to this point, and that's not centered. Huh. I thought that was centered with the entire build. It's over by 1 block, which is fine, because we can pick it up, and I've used the wrong pick, and that means it's all the way back at my storage system. And I can't fly. Why can't I fly? We need a cloud. Look at that, my friends. Look at that. I love this little arc right here. That's going to look so cool in this place. And I was just thinking about lighting, and I was going to put glowstone down the bottom here, but then I remembered that we can get rid of mob spawning. So we can actually work with the darkness and the shadows in this area by using a mega torch. The recipe for this thing is relatively cheap, although I've used up most of my gold that I have now. But that's what it is, and then I think you place it down, and in a 64 by 64 by 64 radius, it will stop mobs spawning. So we'll probably hide that behind a wall over here instead of had it in the center of the room. But it means we can punch out all the torches and actually use darkness in this area, which is pretty cool. And if we fly up top, we can also just block off the sunlight there. And you can see it becomes quite a different build, but we're going to work with this. We're going to work with the shadows and bring lighting into this little build here, which is going to be cool. And also, I've grabbed myself... I think there was another machine I was going to throw down here. I can't remember what it was. But anyway, I've got a painting machine and we've got an energy cell to charge it. And this will be able to turn glowstone into other types of blocks. In fact, you put the glowstone there. I'm kind of curious, can it paint these blocks and make them emit light? The answer is no. Also, it's not getting any power. That might be why. Okay, the answer is yes. Really? Oh, let's see if this works then. Okay, so if we want a slope that emits light... unfortunately it's invisible though. Ah well. I feel like what this build needs is a little bit of lush greenery, and Iskal's been kind enough to hand me this from Botania. It is a pasture seed, and we should be able to plant it on dirt, turn it into grass, and then spread that grass in this little area here. So you can see that I put down a little border. And for these little spaces here, I think I need to look for more textures, but for now we've mirrored that onto there. So we're going to throw this thing down, and the reason we're using this grass is because we're in a desert, and this should still look really good, because the desert grass looks a little bit undesirable, doesn't it? So right click, boom, magical particle effects, immediately start spreading, but I don't know, that isn't bright, is it? That's kind of... yeah, that's kind of the same as it is in a desert. Now, the other thing that I've made is a watering can, okay? And then I've made the next tier up, and then I made the tier up after that, which cost us the Neverstar. But I think it's going to be worth it, because we can do this, and in a large area, it will help spread the grass and speed up the growth. That's cool, but that unfortunately isn't the colour of grass that I'm looking for. Okay, we're going to try another one that Iskal's given me here. This one is called Boreal Seeds, and it makes podzol. And the podzol spreads. That's kind of fascinating. What happens if we add some more here and do this? Does it make the podzol spread then? No. So I believe there's a way to make a giant arc, which is what I'd want to do right now. I was just looking at these shapes and I was thinking, don't these ones fit together? If we take two of those can go in the corner, and this one in the middle. Okay, so we've got a big free wide area here. This is how it's coming along. I've been experimenting with water as well, and I could really do with a torch about now. And I'm just not sure if I want to take it in that direction or not. It kind of feels like it would fit, but maybe not. Anyway, let's throw that in that corner, that one in that one. Yeah, you can see how this is going to go together. That is very nice. I like that quite a lot. Oh, that is actually really, really cool. I'm glad we tried that, because I think we're going to end up with a similar space up the top here, and we'll probably do a similar arc over there. Although this is what we should focus on next, because we're going to get a little bit industrial. We're going to take away the stone bricks, or maybe keep some of them, and create like an interface or an area where you're going to see the ores being processed. Because although we've been focusing on building a fancy room, it is going to have a purpose as well. Alright, so Iskal, always coming to my rescue with the mods, has made us another pasture seed, and we're supposed to combine it with the cactus green. And that makes this vivid pasture seed. Okay, so this should be it. Are you ready? We're going to grab our watering can as well. It's going to make some particle effects. Ooh, okay, that's actually really nice. It's not quite as bright as I was expecting. It's very saturated. It's a very strong green. It's kind of tropical and a little bit on the dark side as well. But no, it doesn't spread over. Okay, right. So this is different entirely. Okay. That is really unfortunate. It doesn't spread over the dirt. So, oh no, there it goes. Did you see it? A little bit spread. Okay, so this might take either a lot longer time, or perhaps the watering can isn't actually helping here. And maybe it needs more light levels. Let's throw down a few torches, then try and do this. Either way, yep, saw a bit over there as well. It definitely does spread, so we're just going to have to give it a little bit of time. I think this is going to work with the grass, I really do. And the machines are coming into place okay. I kind of want to make what's going on up there look a lot bigger, and these new blocks that we're introducing are factory blocks. I had a look through all the different options here, and I felt like this one was industrial but without being too obvious, and it kind of fits into what we're doing here really well, because the metal trim around the edge sort of goes right up against the stone really well and looks like it's a part of it, so it brings a little bit of an industrial vibe in. But then I feel like the machines that we got there aren't big enough. I kind of want this to be big and visual and really give you a sense of there's something going on up here. But let me explain what we're going to do with these machines. These are for processing our ores and getting more value out of them. And in order to do that, we kind of need to throw down some power. That should be powering the machines on either side. Excellent. And to begin with, what we're going to do is most of this manually. Now, I do believe these will interact, so the ones on the outside should be getting powered. Maybe we need to configure this as well. Okay, now they're getting power, and the other thing that I need to do is link them together, because you can take the outputs of these thermal expansion machines and make them the inputs to the next machine along. So where we can configure this thing, we've got a auto output and input enabled, so we're using the auto output, so when the items get pulverized they're going to go to this side. This one will then be able to pick it up with auto input, so then it will go into the redstone furnace, and that's what we got on both sides. Now we've got some augments here, which we're not going to use today or anytime soon, because this one requires fluid petroleum and the other one fluid pyrethium. I mean, I don't even know how to make that stuff yet. It's going to be crazy though. So this one's for the pulverizer, increases yield from ores, and this one is for the induction smelter, increases yield from ores again. I've got a feeling that second one might be redundant with what I have in mind. You see, if we put iron into a pulverizer, what it's going to create is 2 pieces of iron dust. This will then automatically get moved into this one, and it will then produce like two of those things. So I think you have to put ore into the furnace with this one in order to get a bonus. So if we make if we do it with this and we get the bonus on this one, we'll also get extra ingredients down here on occasion, which can be turned into other metals. So the idea here is just to create more bang for our buck, so to speak. And here it is, pulverized nickel. I don't know how often we'll use the nickel, but we'll get some of that as well. And by the way, this thing soaks up a lot of juice when you've got 4 of them running at once, and we don't have wireless power yet. I mean, I'm really trying to power into this so I can get all the materials I need to build stuff, but it's kind of a slow process. Anyway, there's another thing I want to test here, which is, I'm really not sure how this works. How do I get that slot right there to go? Oh, orange is half and half, is it? So if I change that to orange, aha, now it's moved the nickel into this one. Excellent, and now we've got a nickel ingot. So that's why I think it's worth going down this road. So when we put the augment into here, we can get even more than double iron and extra nickel ingots as well. And just to make it clear, the nickel ingot isn't the only bonus that you can get. Each of these different ores will have a different bonus. The problem is it doesn't show the pulverizer in here. You can see the sag mill, which is from Ender.io, and I believe some of these bonuses come from feeding it with flint or something like that. But up here the pulverizer doesn't appear, so I've been relying on some wikis to get that information. And now I believe that I need your help. It's time to leave a comment, because I don't want to rush into this thing and try and do it all in one go. I feel like we've really established something very nice here, but it needs a few more things. I don't know how these roofs are going to come together, and basically any ideas that you have for details or anything like that, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about this water, because I'm really not a fan of it, but I can't help but feel a lot of you would really like it, and maybe we should go in that direction. We've got a few other things that we could probably try behind those walls or curves, whatever you want to call them. And then coming up here, what I'd really like to do, I think, is animate and display what's happening here. Maybe there are some things in the mod pack you know about where we can visually represent like the ores coming through and being turned into ingots, and do something a little bit better than this, like just, you know, 2 blocks side by side. It's kind of boring, right? And I feel like we could definitely aim to do something a little bit more interesting than that. And then down here, what I've decided to do is bring the grass all the way in to where you first come into the room. This is temporary, just threw it in there so there were some blocks to look at. And also removed this little stone border just around the edge here. I actually felt like the grass needs to show you where you can go. So you can walk over here, right? And that means that this will probably end up being grass going through into here. So we'll end this with a little bit of a progress update on the wastelands. I've gone around removing a lot of sand over in this area. You can see there's just sandstone left behind. It's just something I'll do as we go by here. But if you wanted to know where that room is, this is going to be the center of the base. We've got this thing here. It's directly in line with that one, which I believe that one there is in line with as well. And I actually think maybe it'd be a good idea to get like a key group of them sort of all lined up, so they're nice and easy to jump to. So that one will probably go over to the side, but that's where the ore processing room is. And this is where we're going to wrap up this episode. So leave your feedback with a comment down below. As always, thank you for your support. Leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll be seeing you in the next episode. So ciao for now, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.